Welcome to another episode of CJ Discovery. Today I am very excited because I love this kit that we found. It is called the Yuck kit. I am very eager. Not only is there a lot of fun yucky stuff in here, but there's actually a petri dish with the stuff that goes inside of it so that we can grow our own petri fuzz. Yay! Now I did go ahead and get inside and get the instructions out, mostly because I didn't know what all this kit would need, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything. It turns out that it basically just needs some food coloring and some sugar and some water, and supposedly that's about it. Now I don't actually keep a lot of sugar in my house, so I had to borrow sugar. So I went and got a baggie of sugar. I carried this around in my purse yesterday. Felt a little weird about that. Just saying. Anyway, off we go. Dude, it unscrews. Let's just dump it all out. The first experiment is that we're supposed to make these Yuck crystals. I kind of think these are probably like some of the crystals that we've done before, where you put them in and they just kind of grow and they look like little ice cubes. However, they're supposed to take about an hour and we need them for another experiment, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. We are supposed to fill this with water, and we were supposed to find this baggie of Yuck crystals, and we're supposed to put them in here. So we are going to go ahead and do that. Okay, all you got to do is pour it upside down in there.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them. Okay, so we are going to set this jar to the side and let these grow while we get the rest of our kit started. Along with the Yuck crystals, we've actually already prepared our petri dish. You have to boil the gelatin and the sugar and stuff together. You actually only need about a teaspoon of sugar, but we already prepared that because it needs time to cool before you can actually do stuff with it. So we've got that sitting to the side while we do the rest of the experiments. On top of that, we have taken inventory of everything that we have, and it seems like we are actually missing what they call a large cup and a shaker cup. We have 2 of them. It says we're supposed to have 3, and then it calls this a powder, and we've noticed this is a very liquidy, crystally thing. Somehow this has gotten moisture into it. Now this kit was completely sealed when we got it. It did come from a small hobby game store. It's possible it's been sitting there for a very long time, maybe even returned at some point and they resealed it. I don't know. Hopefully we can still do it okay. The cup and the shaker cup are probably no big deal. This may affect our one experiment to make snot. So we get to see how that turns out. The reason I got excited about this kit is because we are supposed to make fun things like snot and barf. I opened this up and read the instructions. I didn't actually mess with any of the stuff, but it seems like most of them are actually going to be fairly easy, and with an adult's help, most kids can do all of this. It is just pouring and shaking and mixing. Now, the instructions have a lot of information about why things work and the science of it all. We are going to start with the slime. Okay, for the goo, we are supposed to use the green goo, the cross-linker solution, and we're supposed to use the shaker cup and its lid, a measuring cup and a measuring spoon, and that's about it. You're supposed to fill this cup with that green glue solution. So I'll hold it up. You want to fill it up in there? Is there a lid on it?
Checking.
Alright, now you got the lid off, so go ahead and we're going to fill this. I'll hold it for you. You can fill that up. Okay, it says you're supposed to pour this into one of the shaker cups, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we're supposed to add a scoopful of the cross-linker solution into there. We're going to pour that in there. Now it says it's time for the most important part, which is to shake, but not without the lid. The kit suggests that you have an adult do this part, because then it's the adult's fault if it spills everywhere.
I want to do it.
Yep. I'm going to make it Josh's fault if it spills everywhere. There you go. Shake it up.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what we got in here. Oh, that's awesome. Look. Go ahead. Pull. Ah! Pop it out. So this is our what? Our slime. This is just our slime.
Okay, I'm putting it back in.
This kid is supposed to gross the adults out. He's the one grossed out. So this is our slime. We're not actually supposed to make snot later, so I can't imagine. I mean, this is pretty snotty. Okay, now that you've had so much fun with the slime, we're gonna make snot. Yay! This is the experiment that we don't think we have everything for, so hopefully it'll all work out okay. All right, for this one, we are supposed to need the large cup with water in it. We are supposed to need what this is supposed to be powder, the measuring scoop, and the clear snot goo, and our fingers. So, we are going to put a blue scoop of this. Can you get out a scoop? It's going to be hard because it's not powder. Okay, now that we have a scoop of that in there, you are supposed to open this, and we are supposed to pour this on top like putting honey on a biscuit. Okay, now that we have our goo in there, we are supposed to stick our finger in and see what we find, and when we find something, pull it out. You find this? Actually, I wasn't expecting to be grossed out by very much, but if you've ever dealt with like mucus and stuff, I mean, this is mucus. It's lovely. There is like, I don't know if you can see this real well. It is very... Look at the boogers we found. There's not much color to it, but if you've ever sneezed and it's, yeah. You've ever sneezed and it'd be kind of chunky and
gooey.
And I like being gross. Ugh. Okay, now that we've made slime and snot, we are going to make barf. Yay! Are you excited? Okay. So this part should be fairly easy. It is supposed to be just like making the slime, only we are going to also add red food coloring, and we are going to fold in some of these crystals that have been sitting here for a while. So let's start out by making the goo again. I'm all shook up. Yeah, yeah. I'm all shook up. Okay, so now, actually, apparently we're supposed to put it in when we were shaking it. We're going to try to put our red drops in now. 3, 4. I think 5's good. Let's start with 5.
Wow, it looks like blood.
Yeah. It says that red plus green is supposed to equal brown. Maybe we put too much red in there, but our barf looks like you really need to go to an emergency room. Okay, so we're supposed to put some of these crystals in here that we've got. They have been sitting here for a while in the water. They are like ones that we've done before. They're not quite as big, but they're just little crystals. So here, I'll let you do this. You're going to put some of them. Okay, you're supposed to use your hands to fold this into here, these crystals into here, to make it chunky, like throw up is. Yum. Chunky throw up. Our fingers are turning red from the food coloring. I'm not sure I'm overly impressed with our barf here. It's not yummy looking. I mean, I wouldn't call that the most delicious looking thing on the planet, but I've never thrown up anything that looks like that, and if I did, I would be majorly concerned. So how do we feel about the barf? I am not overly impressed with this, as it kind of looks like liver and maybe something like that. Like, I mean, I can't say it enough. I would be horrified if that came out of my body. Doesn't it look more like guts? Why are you backing away? The rest of the kit is actually supposed to take a couple days to do. So we are going to clean our mess up and we are going to get that started, and then we will be back. It's actually supposed to take about a week to finish the rest of the kit, but we're going to get that started today. The first of the 2 other projects is that we were supposed to empty this jar and refill it with warm water. And we have a bag of body parts. There is a hand and an ear. Oh, somewhere in there is an ear. And an ear and a brain, and we are supposed to put it in here. So here you go. You go ahead and put them in. Plop them in the water. Brain in. When do you honk yours?
I don't know.
ears.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yes, that's the sound of one hand clapping. So they are in here. It says it's supposed to take about a week to grow. So we're also going to be growing mold, so the two can be put side by side. But for there, they are sitting down in that water. Now for the piece de resistance.
It's not little.
So we have this. We have prepared the medium. It is in there. It is like a gelatin type of thing. They suggest using your cotton swab to do something like swab a controller or what else, the phone or something, and then putting the lid on it and watching it grow. We're going to actually attempt to do 4 different things. I am going to swab our toothbrushes. We are going to swab a controller. And we are going to swab his mouth and my mouth. We are going to make 4 different spots on here, and I am going to mark it with a black marker and put the lid on so that we can keep track of what mold is what, because I think that will be fun. The kit comes with 1 Q-tip. I went and got a couple extra Q-tips to use. In order to do this, you are supposed to dampen the end of your cotton swab before you rub it on whatever you're going to pick up the bacteria from. So you're just supposed to lightly swab the thing that you're wanting to get the stuff off of. And then you take this, I'm going to do the first one, I'll let him put the other ones in there. You find a section and you're just going to rub it on there. But this is, we're supposed to lightly draw our squiggly line in here. The ones that we touch a lot. I touch that one a lot. Yeah, we definitely touch the power button a lot. Kind of get it into there. The next 2 we won't have to wet because we are going to scrub around the inside of our mouth like we are brushing our teeth with the Q-tip. So you're going to scrub your cheek and your teeth, and let's see what we come up with, okay? All around, make sure we get all kinds of yummy germs. Our teeth, our tongue. I'm going to put mine on this side, and you're going to put yours on that side. Go ahead, you can do it. Okay, so we have this done. I have marked our lid so that we can keep track of what is what. I am going to put this on here, and I'm actually going to tape it down so that we don't lose track. It doesn't turn. So you want to hold that?
Yes.
It does say we're supposed to put this in a warm, dark place to let it grow. So we're going to take care of that. I am very excited to see whether Josh or my bacteria grows worse. Hi guys.
Hello.
We are back. It's been about a week. I apologize about the lighting and the setup. We're just trying to knock this out. It has been a crazy week for us. Just crazy. We have our jar of body parts here. I change the water like I was supposed to every 24 hours, and it has been about a week. I think we're 1 day short of a week. And this is the jar now. It looks kind of cool. I'm going to pull them out of here to look at, but I wanted you to see them in the jar. Here is our ear. It is kind of spongy. It is gigantic, but it is kind of like, it almost looks like a sponge. It's huge. You got the brain?
Yep.
Show them the brain. This is our brain. This is your, it's kind of gray matter. Haha, it's gray matter. See?
And finally, lastly, is
And the hand.
Well, that isn't, in the water it actually looks bigger.
Yeah, the jar kind of magnifies it, but for comparison, I mean, you hold the brain. Now these started out, they were about that big when they started, so it really grew pretty large over the course of the week. Okay, now the next part is kind of exciting for me because he hasn't seen them at all. It is our petri dish.
Okay.
So here it is, and I'm going to show the camera first. There we go, there is our thing. Okay, here you go.
Oh, nothing on mine.
It's not nothing. There's something on everything. But which one has it the worst and the grossest? That was the toothbrush. So here we are. Let's see.
That's just freaky.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring it up close. Here it is. Now I marked all the parts. So this is the J for Josh's side, and you can see there's a couple little specks in there. And there's mine, and that has a few specks. And if you remember, I don't know how well it showed in the video, but I swabbed my mouth like crazy and all over my tongue and everything else. And he just kind of did his a little. So I have a few specks there. Yes, that's my excuse for mine being worse. Right here is the controller. It has a lot more specks of stuff on it there. And then this is the toothbrush. Yeah. So now the thing with this is I did notice that there is kind of a runny film that is, if I tilt it, it kind of runs all over. And I don't know how much that contributes to things. There is definitely growth all over this. That toothbrush section is the worst.
Did it say that the toothbrush would be worse?
No, but I know from other things that the toothbrush is always in the bathroom, and the bathroom actually has a lot of bacteria in it, since that's the place that we use our bathroom. And so you set the toothbrush in there, and I don't know, you watch Mythbusters. Do you remember that Mythbusters tested the toothbrushes, and the toothbrushes all had nasty bacteria on it?
Oh yeah.
And that was a thing. So I knew if we swabbed our toothbrush, we were going to get gross. I wasn't sure I was prepared for it to be like that much worse than the other things, but yeah, it's pretty gross. So this kit, I don't know if I said it before, we got it at a local hobby store. I paid right around $18 for it. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of fun aspects to it. I think he was adequately grossed out by it, yes, and thought it was disgusting. I actually thought it was fun. I liked making the goo. This is, of course, what I wanted before when we had the Sad Petri dish before, so this was fun. If I had a drawback to the kit, it would be that the goo, after we made it, after it set for 10-15 minutes, it really wasn't something that you would play with. But it was a lot of fun to do, and I liked the kit a lot. What did you think? And why? Because you were grossed out?
Yes.
I thought it was awesome. Just saying.
Because it had a petri dish.
No, because I got to make snot and barf and mucusy stuff and grow mold and body parts in a jar. I mean, when else in your life do you get to grow body parts in a jar? Come on. That's pretty cool. Thanks for joining us on this episode of CJ Discovery. Be sure to click that like button if you enjoyed it. And please click subscribe. We're doing these every Saturday. We enjoy putting them out. We're having a lot of fun. Be sure to leave a comment below if you have something to say. We like hearing from everybody. We like to hear your opinions. Have a wonderful week. Go forth and discover.